If you've never seen one of my videos before, my name is Matt and I'm making this game called Goblin. You play as a little goblin whose island is being invaded by humans and you need to fight them off and rebuild your town. I usually describe it as a blend between Stardew Valley and Terraria, as you can go out and fight bosses, rescue your friends, farm, tend to your goblin-y livestock, hang out with the NPCs, and so much more. All on a procedurally generated island with multiple floors with up to 7 other friends in online multiplayer. So most of the chunks of the game are done, and I've got lots of mechanics that I just kinda need to rearrange into something fun. My plan is to just play through the game from the beginning over and over again and see what feels right. Sort of playtesting by myself. The first thing I noticed was that it was frustrating when all the NPCs would all go to bed and be unwilling to talk to me because they're sleeping. I would just have to sit around and wait until they wake up. To fix this, I made it so you could click on a bed to sleep for 8 hours. Now I thought this was an okay fix, but when some of my friends would play the game, I noticed that they wouldn't ever sleep. They knew it was an option, but they preferred to go out and explore more at night instead. This meant that if NPCs had things to say that could progress the plot, they would miss it until the next day, because they were never around during the day when the NPCs had the little exclamation marks over their heads. So I instead made it so that if you're out too late at night, you pass out and wake up the next morning in town, making sleep a necessity. This should sound pretty familiar. I liked it since you couldn't just stay up eternally while everybody else was sleeping. That felt odd to just be watching over your goblin pals as a sleepless ghoul of the night. It also makes you plan your days more carefully since you need to get home in time for bed. It just kinda adds another element of thought to the game that I think was missing, and it feels a lot better now. I was also noticing that I was getting lost a lot, and it was time to make mini-maps. The mini-map sits in the corner of your screen showing the nearby tiles, players, and NPCs. Since the entire game takes place on a grid, I just have it look at the grid spots on the screen one by one and draw colored pixels onto a texture that gets shown in the corner of the screen. If you open up the map menu, you can go look at all the floors and take a more detailed look at the map. As you can see, it only shows the areas you've already been in. Now next up, I noticed that buildings were a bit confusing. You need to have a bed, a door, a torch, valid walls, and valid floors, and it can't be too big or small. But the player has no way to know this except trial and error, and I don't want this to be a wiki game where you constantly have to have the wiki open in another tab to even understand what to do. So I made it so that when you first get asked to make a house, this help display slyly slides up to help you out. Then you can, at any time, open up the help menu to see the things that you've forgotten. It was right about here that I wanted to give the game some spice. Currently, if you start your first world, it'll just fade to black and then pop you into the game without any sort of intro. I wanted to add a cutscene of some sort that shows when you first play the world. The only problem is it would take me months to hand animate a full cutscene, and I don't have $20,000 to pay for a professional one. So I instead went for this sort of slideshow approach, where it'll show scenes one at a time. Now the art here I'm showing is all temporary. I'll eventually want to draw it in the style of one of my art prints, maybe like this or like this, but that'll come later on. Just know that it's in there and the story has started to take shape. Now another thing I noticed was that sometimes it's hard to tell if your pickaxe was actually damaging things. I needed a way to visually show when an object was actually getting successfully hit. I ended up making it so that the walls would sort of warp as they get damaged, like so. It might need a bit of tweaking, but I think it looks pretty decent. With this, I also made it so that trees and rocks and stuff do a little wiggle when you hit them too. It's small, but I think it helps make the game feel a bit better. Now, speaking of hitting things, don't forget to hit the old like and subscribe buttons to make the YouTube algorithm show the video to more goblin-loving viewers. I can't promise that the like button will rotate or warp though when you hit it. A couple of other things, I added a trash can in the inventory so that you can throw away items. That was getting annoying. And I also added a sort button so you can quickly sort your junk. I also made it so that you can right click to grab multiple items, and it works in shops too. I also added some new biomes, but before I get into that, I've got a quick word from our wonderful sponsor for today's video, Southern New Hampshire University. As some of you know, I graduated back in 2020 with an electrical engineering degree, but after working on my game in my spare time, I really don't think I could ever be content just doing engineering. I really see game development in my future and know it's what I'm meant to do. If I could turn back the clock, I think I'd go for a game development or a computer science degree instead, and if you're looking to maybe get a career in game development, SNHU may be a good option for you. They're accredited, so your degree will indeed not be useless. They're nonprofit, so it won't cost you your entire life savings, and the degrees are online, so you can stay in your mom's boyfriend's basement. You also don't need to move to New Hampshire because, well, no one knows where that is. They have courses that cover programming, physics, graphics and interface design, basically everything you need. The courses are, of course, led by industry professionals, so you'll get some nice connections, which are probably the most important part. I honestly don't even really know any industry professionals myself, so you'll already be a few steps ahead of me. If this sounds interesting at all, scoot on over to snhu.edu/wattdesigns in the description below to see if you qualify for the program. You might also be eligible for financial aid or have transferable college credits that'll fast track your degree at SNHU, so just click the link to look into it and get started. Alrighty, so as I mentioned before, I added a few new biomes to the game. We've got this underground crystal area, complete with these little sentient crystal beings that shoot you with laser beams. The humans are of course harvesting the crystals, and it's up to you to help defeat them. I also added some large trees to the jungle area you can go inside of, and they have some underground underground root networks you can investigate too, with tree guardians that loyally defend them. Now I've additionally added a few more areas, but those you'll just have to wait and see when the game comes out. Next up, I realized it was getting hard for my goldfish brain to remember what NPCs were asking for. The researcher Gogs, for example, would ask for a research station to be placed, but it would be easy to completely forget that she asked for it or even skip over the dialogue on accident. So I added this quest menu where any of your remaining quests will show up. I have it flavored as schemes instead of quests to make it more goblin-y. These schemes get assigned or unassigned during certain dialogues with NPCs. This way the player is less likely to get stuck and confused about what to do next. Now the next change for the game was the biggest. I got it working with Steam. Previously my multiplayer code was using Unity's relays, which you have to pay for, but I moved it over to Steam's instead, which is free. I found out that Steam has a playtest feature where people can sign up to playtest the game, and then I can give playtest access to people in chunks at a time. So here's the deal. By the time this video releases, I'll open it up so anyone can sign up for the playtest, but I won't give access yet since I'm not ready for mass testing yet. Will it be in a few months, weeks? I have no idea. It might be a while, but you can at least sign up with Steam and we'll probably get let in eventually. And while you're there, don't forget to wishlist so you get an email when the game comes out. In the meantime, I've given Steam keys to the members of the Patreon, where we have a little private chat in my Discord, and they've been giving me some very early feedback on a very buggy version of the game. So if you really want to try it, even though it's still super early and has some issues, maybe consider hopping in the Patreon and I'll give you a key. Now speaking of Steam, it's time to show my wishlist count for the sake of transparency. Wishlists on Steam are a decent indicator of how well a game will perform. They say you need about 4,000 wishlists to get shown on the Steam store organically, 7 to 12,000 to maybe get shown on the popular upcoming list, and with 25 to 50,000 you might even get to the front page. And then anything over 75,000 you're pretty much set. So naturally I think our goal should be 75,000, and as of the time of writing this we're at about 26,632, which is honestly way higher than I ever would have expected going into this. I'm glad people think the game looks interesting, and I'll do whatever I can to make it as fun as possible. It may take a while since this is my first time doing something this huge, but I'll try my best and just try to listen to feedback as much as I can. And with that, don't forget to gently caress the like button or leave me a nice comment to get the Steam algorithm to show the video to other people. I do read every comment as they pop up on my phone, so while I can't respond to everybody, I'll definitely at least see it. And of course you can subscribe or even hop in the Discord where we chat about the game. And with that, thanks everyone for dropping by, and I will see you all next time. Hello everyone, the time has come to shout out our eternally gracious patrons. I'd like to give a super special shout out to our Goblin Deity patrons for June of 2024, namely Zachary Neese, Zach Fox, Tom Kemen, Sarah, Charfil, Krakenfall, Jackson Singleton, Joseph Scobby, Megan Palmer, Sierra Kovac, Teddy Bear, Enigma77, Snout, Guardian, Chendrak, Player Unnamed, Colton Reagan, Gilbert Frank, Odie Dragon, Atomic Diamond, Lord Mortimus, and Alexander On. You're all amazing and I appreciate all of the support.